Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon po.
Right, so good afternoon, everyone. Please open your camera now. I think everyone is here. Again, please open your camera. Thank you. Please get your textbook. Thanks. We'll move now to the next chapter. So we have finished this chapter before we have our second problem set. So yun na, yung mga hindi makapag-open ng camera, alam niyo na yung gagawin niyo, mag-message kayo sa akin sa Zoom. Okay? Just simple kung ano yung reason na meron kayo dyan, i-message niyo lang. So lahat ng mga naka-off ng camera dyan, dalawa lang yung nag-message dito. Madali lang yung gawin guys, mag-message lang kung anong reason nyo. Alright, so last week, we discussed about exponential function. And also we had an exercise about that one. So let's move now to how are these exponential functions are modeled in real life situations. Okay, to say for example, a bacteria decay or a growth of population in a certain country, for example. Okay, how can we calculate the future population of a certain place given a growth factor or a rate of growth, for example, or a bacteria, say for example, a rate of decay. Okay, so you go to page 129. Okay, exponential models. So you have there, it can be exponential function, can be in terms of, is to say if the function is increasing or decreasing. So if the function is increasing, so that's going to be an exponential growth function, meaning to say your b in your equation, f of x equals b to the power of x, your b is greater than 1. Okay. So we are given, right, so, our exponential function f of x equals b to the power of x. You already know how to identify an exponential function. Now, if your b here is greater than 1, then this is exponential growth function. Okay, exponential growth function. EGF, exponential growth function. Isulat nyo lang yung buong word dyan if you want, if you're taking down notes. And if your b is greater than 0 but less than 1, this is an exponential decay function. Exponential decay function. Okay, so your exponential growth function is it is an increasing function. Okay, and your exponential decay function is what we call this one, a decreasing function. But all of these are considered as our exponential function. Okay, now how are these functions modeled in real life situations? Okay, so before we move to some of these real life situations, so let's take into consideration first, how are we going to compute the rate? Say, for example, given the rate, okay, for a certain decrease or increase function, how are we going to solve for that exponential function? So let's go directly to page 132. You have there, page 132, example 1. Okay, you are going to determine the growth factor of the quantity that increases by the given percent. Now, always remember, guys, that the given percent, okay, if you're talking about growth, then we have to add this percent to 100. Okay, i-add natin to lahat sa 100. If ever the factor is decay, then we have to subtract this rate or this factor from 100. So yun lang kaibahan. Pag growth, you add that one to 100. Pag decay, you subtract that one to 100. Okay? Decay or yung decrease. Okay, so for example, there, number 1, you're given 50%. So determine the growth factor of the quantity that increases by the given percent. So again, most of the times or oftentimes, the growth factor is written in decimal form. I hope you still remember how to convert percent form to decimal form. So we have there 50%. So you will just add 100%. Always add to 100 since it's a growth factor. 100% plus 50%, then you will get 150%. And how to convert percent form to decimal form? You just divide that one by 100. So your 150% divided by 100, okay, you will have 1.5. Okay, 1.5. So to convert in 100% to decimal. So another one, you have there 75%. So you will just add to 100. 100 plus 75, you will have 175. 175 divided by 100, you will get 1.75. And so with 10%, and so with 12.5%. So that's the growth factor there. So it grows by 1.5, 1.75, 1.10, and 1.25. And also with these given factors, okay, we can solve for the new value. Okay, we can solve for the new value. Say for example, okay, ang growth factor niya is 50%. Okay, growth factor niya is 50%. And then let's just say we have an original value of 200. Okay, 200 guys. If our original population, say for example, is 200, okay, if our original value, this is our original value is 200, and then the growth, ang rate niya is 50%. Ito yung growth factor niya, 50%. So what will be its new value if it has an original value of 200 na may growth factor na 50%? So you will just, anong gagawin dito? Multiply by, so yung 200 natin, i-multiply natin ng ilan? I-multiply lang ba natin ng 50% para makuha yung new value? Or yung 50%, kukunin mo natin yung kanyang growth factor. What is the growth factor? Okay? If this 200 population here, which is our original value, increases by this given percent, 50%. So, gagawin natin na, yung 50%, kukunin natin yung kanyang growth factor na magiging 1.5. Tama? This will become 1.50 or 1.5. Okay. So if it will become 1.5, so therefore we multiply our 200 here by our growth factor, which is 1.5. 200 times 1.5 is 300. Tama? So our new value here is 300. Okay? Nakuha niyo yung process? If we are given with our increase by this increase percent, 50%, then original value 200, then our new value is 300 by multiplying it with our growth factor. Okay, another example. Okay na tayo dito? Walang question sa part na to, guys. Okay, we move directly to the next example, example number 2. Right, so Emerson deposits 50,000 pesos in a savings account. The account pays 6% annual interest. When you say annual, guys, that's yearly. Okay. If he makes no more deposits and no withdrawals, calculate his new balance after 10 years. So let's check if 10 years, ilan na yung pera ni Emerson na may 6% annual interest and then nag-deposit lang siya ng 50,000 pesos. So the computation is annual and then we'll see after 10 years kung ilan, kung magkano na. Okay, so the formula, okay, it is given by the formula y equals a b to the power of x. Okay, yung x dito is naka-exponent lang siya sa b. Hindi sa not included yung a natin. So, yung A natin dito is ito yung starting number natin dito, yung principal amount. Okay, kung i-relate natin to sa term na compound interest or simple interest, for example. And then ang B natin dyan is yung growth factor. And then yung X natin is yung number of intervals. When you say it can be in minutes, in years, in months, okay, in decade, depende sa problem. So, given the problem, Y equals, okay, sa exponential growth to y equals, ano yung beginning natin or starting number natin? Starting number in the problem is 50,000. Yun yung initial deposit niya. 50,000. Okay, multiplied by, what is your, what do you call this one? Growth factor. For this case, what is your growth factor, guys? Given dito sa problem, 6% annual interest. So yung 6% natin is, i-add natin doon sa 100. Okay? 100 plus 6 is 106%. To convert that into decimal form, 106 divided by 100, you will get 1.06. 1.06. Okay? And then yung time natin, yung value natin na x. Tingnan natin sa problem after 10 years. Okay, so after 10 years, we want to know how much money Emerson will have after 10 years with that rate. Do your math here. Double check. Okay, 1.06 to the power of 10. 50,000. Okay, you will have 89,542.38 pesos. Okay, so this amount, 89,542.38, this amount will be the new amount of money Emerson will have after 10 years. So, ibig sabihin, tumubo lang siya ng mga ilan. 50,000 yung dineposit niya, tumubo lang siya ng 39,542, which is logically correct kasi yung mga bangko naman, hindi naman yun maabot ng 1% per month na interest. Okay? That is why, if you are wise enough, guys, and then may negosyo kayong alam, better invest that on a business than to save your money in the bank. Kasi sobrang liit talaga ang tubo ng bangko. Okay, imagine 39,000 lang for 10 years. Which yung 39,000, for 50,000 lang yan if ever. Not unless may mga millions ka, di ba? So, imagine ganun lang kaliit yung tubo. Kasi annual interest 6%. Which is kung ibig sabihin, annual interest 6% divided by 12, yung 6% natin. Magkano lang per month? 0.5. 0.5% lang per month yung tubo niya. Okay? So that's the rule for exponential growth. You apply this formula. Okay, next, example 3. A bacteria grows at a rate of 25% each day. There are 500 bacteria today. How many bacteria will there be tomorrow, 1 week from now, and 1 month from now? Okay, so with this type of problem, real life situations, we can calculate the number of bacteria for the next day, for the next week. Okay, we'll just apply the formula, the exponential growth, y equals a times b to the power of x. Again, yung a natin, yan yung starting number. Yung b natin is yung growth factor. And then yung x natin is yung number of intervals or yung time natin. So for the first one, let's check how many bacteria will there be tomorrow. 500 yung original. Y equals 500. Then 25%. 25% in decimal form, again, you always add that to 100 as our base formula, as our base amount. So 25 is 1.25. Okay. Times tomorrow, syempre, what day this one? 1 day lang yan. 1. Okay, tomorrow. Kasi per day naman yung ano, di ba? Per day yung growth rate niya, which is 25% per day times 1. So 500 times 25, you will get 625. Double check. Okay, 625. This will be the amount of bacteria tomorrow. And how about a week from now, meaning to say 7 days. 1 week equals 7 days. Y equals 500 times, walang nagbago dyan sa growth factor mo, 25% pa rin. Pero yung interval mo is 1 week, which is equivalent to, di mo pwedeng sabihin na 1 week, 1 din ang ilalagay mo. No, kasi base sa problem per day. 1 week equals 7 days, you write there 7. So you will get 1.25 to the power of 7 times, double check natin na, 2,384. Okay? 2,384.1857. So 2,384.185. So 19. And next is a month from now. So although we know for the fact na different months, different number of days, may 28, 29, 30, or 31. So commonly we use 30 days. Okay? That's the usual calculation naman sa kung sa business math pa yan na topic, guys. 30 days, yan yung pang approximate days, number of days. Kung exact date, Exact days naman magdedepende sa month, di ba? So y equals 1 month from now, 500 multiplied by same rate, growth factor 1.25 times 30. Then you will get 40,000, 403,896.78. So imagine with that growth factor, guys, if we have a bacteria, oh, yun. So for example, di ba, sa mga scientists, for example, they can calculate the amount of bacteria present in a wound, for example, with that factor. So 500 bacteria lang yung nakita nila. Then if they check, or sa mga experiment niyo sa mga laboratory, you can also use this formula. May rate na 25% per day. After a week, ganito na karami. Okay, so one day ito lang, kinabukasan, after a week, this one. After a month, ganito na kadami yung bacteria. With the starting number of 500 bacteria. Okay. Now let's move to example 4. Okay, question here. Give me a thumbs up kung naintindihan yung part ng what do you call this one? Exponential growth. Okay, good. All right, next one we have there application of another part of exponential growth models, but application in, so say for example, may mga interest, okay, compound interest, like in business math. Okay, so we are given there the formula. Let me clear this one first. Okay, given there the formula A equals, okay, P, we'll identify first what it means by P, 1 plus R over N multiplied by NT. NT. Yeah. Okay, what does it mean by A? Okay, A there is your compound amount after you calculate. And then P there is your principal. When you say principal, yan yung starting amount, starting number. Your R there is your interest rate. Okay? Again, R is your interest rate. It's not the growth factor na dinagdagan natin ng 100%, but just simply kung ano yung interest rate sa problem. Okay? Your T there is your time in years. Ibig sabihin kapag, what you call this one, kapag nakamonth siya, so kailangan i-convert natin into years. And then your N there is your period. Okay, although specify naman yan sa problem, period per year. When you say semi-annually, that's annually, dalawang beses sa isang taon. When you say quarterly, that's 4 times a year. Kung monthly, 12 times a year. So depende sa problem. Okay? So let's just say for example here, okay, but yung pinakita naman na isang formula dyan, guys, what do you call this one? A times 1 plus R to the power of T. You can relate this formula to the formula a while ago na Y equals A B to the power of X. Kung makikita nyo, yung X dito is pinalitan na natin ng T. Yung B dito is pinalitan lang ng 1 plus R. Ibig sabihin, yung 1 plus R is your growth factor. Okay? Kasi makikita naman natin, diba? In-add na natin sa 1. Yung rate natin, say for example, kanina sa example natin 6%, that is 0.06, plus 1, nagiging 1.06. Diba? So, kung in-add natin kanina dun sa 100, yung growth factor natin. Okay, example, Elaine invested 50,000 at an annual rate of 6% compounded yearly. Okay, yearly, every year. Find the total amount in the account after 10 years if no withdrawals and no additional deposits are made. So specified sa problem na no withdrawals and no additional deposits. Kasi kung mga accounting students ang tatanungin nyo dyan, pwede sila mag-reason out na what do you call this one? Pag may mali, halimbawa, mali yung sagot nila nakuha, mamali ng teacher, pwede sila mag-reason out na, sir, it's not stated in the problem that there are no more withdrawals or no more deposits. Kasi pwede naman nila sabihin na within that elapsed time, may certain withdrawals and certain deposits na inilagay. So, given the formula, A equals P, 1 plus R over N times NT. The principal amount natin is 50,000. Okay, 50,000. 1 plus, okay, what is our rate there in the problem? That's 6%. Okay, so unlike kanina sa growth factor, we just write 6%. In decimal form, that's 0.06. We do not add that one to 1. Okay, kasi hindi yan growth factor. Okay, 6% is 0.06 in decimal form. I hope you still remember how to convert, guys, in your elementary. Percent to decimal. Okay, divided by your n. Okay, based on the problem, ano yung n natin dito? Sinabi dito na compounded yearly. So your n here, period per year. So that's 1. Okay, per year. Times 1. Yung n natin is 1 also. And then yung t natin, what is our t here? After 10 years. So 1 times 10. Okay, double check the answer there in the book. Okay, just in case nagkamali yung typology, what do this one? Error, typo error, guys. So 1 plus 0.06. 1 plus 0.06. 1.06 to the power of 10 times 50,000. So if you have noticed, guys, yung sagot natin dito is just the same kanina sa 89,542.38. If you check the example 3, examples, ano ba yun? 89,000. Ano ba yung value kanina? 89,542, yung example 2 natin kanina, yung kay Emerson. Okay? Pareho lang yung value. Pero, look at here the process, guys. Ito dito, kung titingnan, gagamitin natin yung formula na y equals a b to the power of x. Kung gagamitin natin itong formula na to, we'll see kung the same ba yung sagot natin, 89,000. So a is your initial number, 50,000. Multiplied by your b. B is your growth factor, 6%. 6% is 0.06 plus 1, 1.06. Times your time natin dito is 1 year, di ba? Okay. 1 year time per year times time natin is in 10 years, so multiply to the power of 10. When you check this one, guys, double check kung anong sagot dito. 50,000 times 1.06 to the power of 10. The same ba yung sagot dito? Double check if the same ba yung sagot dito. Pa-reply, pa-respond na lang ng same if pareho. Okay, the same lang yung sagot. So, what does it indicate to us, guys? Na this formula for your compound interest, for example, okay, is just the same with your exponential growth formula if our time is just equal to 1. Okay? Kapag per year naman, pag the same lang. Pero, kapag yung n natin dito, okay, yung n value natin dito is not equal to 1, then doon na magbabago. Okay, hindi mo na siya pwedeng magamit itong formula na to. It's no longer applicable for this formula. Okay, nakuha yung difference? Okay, hindi na siya magbabago. So, say for example, let's just say the problem is, babaguhin natin itong problem, same pa rin yung value natin. Instead na per year, yung rate niya, gagawin natin, let's just say, quarterly. Quarterly yung interest rate na 6%. Okay? 6% compounded. May annual rate na siya, may annual rate na 6%, pero compounded quarterly. Okay, paano na yung magiging formula natin? Okay, let's erase this value. Tanda natin yung value, 89,542.38. Okay. So what I said a while ago na, sa problem natin, instead of compounded yearly, the same pa rin yung problem natin guys. Ang word lang papalitan natin is compounded quarterly. When you say quarterly, that is 4 times. Okay? So 1 plus, yung rate natin is the same pa rin, 6%, which is 0.06 in decimal. And then your n here, when you say quarterly, how many times a year, guys, again? 4 times. So, divided by 4 to the power of 4. Yung T natin dito is still 10 years kasi for a period of 10 years natin gusto malaman yung amount invested. So, what is your answer here, guys? Ano yung maging sagot nyo dito? Double check. Give me your answer sa what do this one? Sa Zoom chat.
Sama na lang ni Jason.
Mga more than. Diba? Siyempre, mas malaki pa dun obviously kanina sa value natin na quarterly lang. Kasi dito, per quarter kanina yearly. So this is 90,700.92. So mas malaki ng mga 7,000, almost 7,000. Okay. Now how about same problem? Instead of compounded quarterly, let's just say semi-annually. When we say guys semi-annually, what do you mean by semi? Kalahati, di ba? Ibig sabihin in 1 year, twice. Twice in 1 year. So what do you think the value is? Is it greater than this value or less than this value? Ito is quarterly to na value. How about semi-annually? Will it be less than or greater than this value? So para malaman nyo, when you say semi-annually, itong 4 dito, papalitan nyo ng 2. Itong 4 dito, papalitan nyo ng 2. Kasi semi-annually.
Nakita yung session.
Okay? So less. Okay? Try to check what is the new value. Okay? Ano yung maging value niya, guys? Give me the new value. So less than 90,000 yung expected natin. Yung value natin kanina is 90,700. Okay, less than 90,700. So you have there 90,000. Pinalitan natin ng 2 yan dyan ha. 90,305.56. Okay. So 90,305.56. Okay. Now, what if guys, same problem. It's not compounded yearly, it's not compounded quarterly, it's not compounded semi-annually, but it is compounded monthly. Okay, when you say compounded monthly, ibig sabihin yan, how many months in a year? It's gonna be 12. So papalitan natin yung 12, yung 2. Okay, do your math now. So that's gonna be, will it be less than or more than? It's gonna be more than. Kasi monthly na siya naka-interest eh.
So definitely may mga part doon na hindi na makakita sa old duration.
So what will be the value?
Parang shuffle. So then mangyayari.
Double check. 12 na to guys ha, 12.
Basta importante doon, perception until
Double check mo, Mikael. Mukhang sobrang laki.
Tuesday.
Okay. 106 divided by 12 plus 1 equals the power of 120 times 50. 90,969.84.
Para mabigyan na natin sa main editor ng Wednesday.
Okay, 90,969.84. Okay, so expected na mas greater doon sa compounded quarterly. Okay, so pinakamalaki yung monthly, next is quarterly, next is semi-annually, next is yung annually na. Okay, compounded yearly. So example 5 is the same lang yung process dyan. Okay, we'll not discuss example 5, but the same lang yung process dyan. We just use example 4 as our main problem. Okay, next, let's go to page 136. If we have a certain number that is compounded continuously, okay, compounded continuously, so we'll just use our E, our Euler's number, E. Okay. So you have there when the principal P in pesos is invested at an annual interest rate or in percent. compounded continuously, the amount A accumulated after T years or the number of years is given by that formula. A equals P as your principal times E R to the power of R times T. Okay. So let's just say, for example, determine the amount of money that will be accumulated if 100,000 is invested at an annual rate of 8%, compounded continuously. Okay, compounded continuously. It's not compounded yearly, but compounded continuously after 10 years if no withdrawals are made. Okay, your P there is given 100,000. Okay, multiplied by E. Okay, yung E natin, hindi natin lagyan ng value kasi may E naman dyan sa calculator nyo, di ba? Okay, may E naman dyan. And then to the power of yung rate natin dito is 8%. 8% decimal is 0.08. Your time natin dito is 10 years. Tama? 10 years. Okay, multiplied by 10. Okay, double check. What will be your answer? So, double check nyo lang sagot. I-compare na natin, guys. It's gonna be 222,554. Yung sagot nyo, 554.09. Okay, the same lang sa book, di ba? 222,554.09. So, this will be your value or your amount in your account after 10 years. Okay? Now, although guys, sa problem natin dito, hindi natin pinakita dito yung decay. Okay, pero if we will apply the word decay, is kabaliktaran lang siya. Okay? Ima-minus lang natin. Kung growth factor is i-add natin sa 100, dito naman kung decay naman, decrease, ima-minus na natin sa 100. Okay? So, the same lang yung process niya dyan. Alright, so say for example, there's a decrease of 40% for example or 30%. So kung decrease na 40%, yung growth factor niya is 60% na lang. Kung nagdi-decrease siya ng 40%, let's say 20%, so yung decay factor, not growth factor, I mean decay factor niya is 70% for example. So you will just have to subtract that one to 100. Alright, so it's already time guys, and I see you all later on sa chemistry time natin. No assignment for Gen Math. See you later on. Bye guys. Bye everyone.